Hi, it's Nikki Angeloni from Flourish Mindfully. I wanted to share a little bit about the yoga classes that I facilitate, I instruct, that I teach. They are in Melbourne in Beaumaris at Beaumaris Yacht Club, and they're on Monday evenings during the school term. There's two classes. One's 6:45 p.m. till 7:45 p.m. and the other is 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. They are suitable to beginners. Everybody is welcome. A little bit about what I want to share is the surface we practice on is, I'm not here, I'm in my home, I'm not at the yacht club at the moment, but I'll share a video of there another time. We practice on carpet, so it's really lovely. It's not a hardwood floor like I have here at home. So you just pop your mat down on the carpet, and that's really quite supportive for knees generally, but I offer variations because a lot of my yogis have some knee issues, so I always offer a modified movement for any exercises where there's activity through the knees. In terms of equipment, all you need to bring is a yoga mat and a blanket. The yoga mat is to practice on, and I try and keep you on your mat most times. The blanket is for relaxation. We have 5 minutes of relaxation at the end, but your blanket can also be used as a support when we sit down to raise your hips a little bit, which can be really supportive. We do sit in cross-legged position in the classes. However, not everyone can do that. So there's options of having one leg out, the other leg out, legs out in front, or one behind, one in front, whatever suits you. But I do find that lifting the hips is really helpful for being able to facilitate that cross-legged or variation of. What else do I want to let you know? You can wear anything that's comfortable to our classes, no particular uniform as such, and where there's no music, we just have the sounds of the bay, of the water lapping by. Sometimes there's some dogs or some activity out, which really warms the heart to see people out and about on the beach. The yoga style is hatha, which means that there's individual poses and they're held. We don't hold the poses for too long. And part of the reason for that is there's less risk of injury, more risk of injury when you do hold poses for a longer period of time if you're not holding them particularly right. And it's Gita style. So the style that of yoga I teach is Gita style, which came to Melbourne, the first yoga in Melbourne from Margaret Jesmond, and then was passed on to the teachers. And my teacher was Helen Kershaw, who learned directly from Margaret, and Helen's still teaching today. The structure of the class. So we have an opening sequence of limbering. We start on the floor and we do a little bit of stretching that looks like this. So our little opening sequence is the same. I'll just run you through. It looks a lot like this. We do that, repeat that one again, and then lengthen. So we get this kind of indication to the body that we are here at yoga and we're about to practice. So a bit of muscle memory happening. And you also get to see how your body changes from week to week when you do the same movements. So we start on the floor and then we move up to the last exercise we always stretch and lengthen the spine. There's lots of counter stretching happening to support your body in relation to not being injured. And then we do a little sequence of spine twists. We do 3 times to the right, 3 times to the left, and then we move down from the upper back to the lower back or middle of the back, and then 3 times each side. I'm abridging here to really limber through the spine, and again, lengthening through. All right, and then our limbering continues. Usually there's a balancing movement happening and then a few other movements to lengthen through the side body, twist through the body, some forward and back movements. And we might do a salute to the sun, a gentle variation of that, or a warrior sequence before we then make our way down to the floor for a moment of self-inquiry on the week's focus. which we start with. I forgot to mention that. And then we do some pranayama practice, some breath practice, some basic breath practice before we move into the Gita sequence of 10 poses. And that sequence starts with a mudra, which is a tuning fork for a practice. So it may look something like this. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. We usually do this on the floor and we do it 3 times. And then a spine twist. So that could be anything from a seated spine twist to maybe a triangle pose like this. What else could we do? We could do there's lots of variations. So although our class is very structured in terms of we do 10 poses, each week they're different. So there's a different mudra, there's a different spine twist. Then the next movement we do for the solar plexus center, it could be a camel, either standing if you need to, or we'll sit down for that, or on the knees, or it might be bridge, or a variation of either of those. And then we move to the creative gland. So that could be an Uttanasana, forward fold. It could be a pigeon or a reverse pigeon if you need to protect your knees. And then we move to a bandha, which is for our digestive system, a lock, throat lock, stomach lift, or the root lock. And that's 5 of our 10. And then we continue with a movement for the suprarenal glands, our fight flight hormone centers. It's usually a bow or a locust pose, and then cobra for our thymus gland. So we're moving up the endocrine system. After our cobra, we work in either shoulder stand or legs up. So you might, if you're not working in shoulder stand, just come into a variation like so, or like so. And then we come out of that and move into fish. Fish pose looks like a variation of this. A lot of my clients or yogis don't always work in fish. They might visualize the stretch, so I will guide you through that as well. And we always have a counter stretch. So after that back bend, a little bit of a counter stretch here before moving on to our final pose. As we've moved up the body to the head, we work in down face dog or elephant or teepee or dolphin. So as you can see, each of the 10 poses has a myriad of variations. So it's always different. And after we finish our poses, we do a couple of neck stretches, just really simple neck stretches, and finish with an Om. We actually do 3 Om after our pranayama practice. And then we finish in Shavasana, which is lying down looking like this with a blanket on top of you for that extra sense of support, of protection. And that's about it. We always finish with our Namaste. And before our Namaste, actually, we reach up and up and send a wonderful week ahead, or an affirmation of our weekly focus with Namaste. And this reaching and stretching up, that came from Margaret. That's been passed down from her, as has the structure and much of the class. The weekly focus has been added in by Helen, but the pranayama and the asana have all come from that structure. Let me check, was there something else I wanted to let you know about our classes? I think that's it. If you've got any questions, please feel free to drop me a line. Our term starts on Monday, the 30th of January. There are a few spots left, and you are welcome. I hope to hear from you. Have a good day.